At least one opposition party is raising the spectre of a possible election as calls grow for the Prime Minister and Finance Minister to resign over the We charity scandal. Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet hasn't said he's committed to bringing down the minority government, but he's asked Elections Canada what's needed to run an election in a pandemic. The Bloc wants a House vote by September 21st. One political scientist says the idea of a snap election may not be well received.
The question is, well, what are you going to do about it? They repeatedly said, well, we don't want to call an election, rightly. All of the issues that we've heard about already come to the fore in the midst of all of this. To add to the fact that Canadians probably don't want to go to the polls again, the Conservatives don't have a leader right now. The NDP, in fact, many of the parties are not in very good shape financially, and they're not in great shape in the polls. This tells you that the Bloc is looking very good.
Let's bring in another voice right now. We have with us political analyst Michael Geoghegan joining us on the show. Michael Geoghegan, good evening and appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us on CTV News Channel.
Thanks for having me.
So what's your take, Michael, of what Bloc is saying at this given point of time? Snap elections, is this just pressure tactic, or do you think this could actually happen since we're in a pandemic?
Well, I know that since we're in a pandemic, the vast majority of Canadians do not want a snap election at this time. But certainly, if there were to be an election, it is far from given that the Trudeau Liberals could hang on to power even in a minority situation. And that being the case, perhaps the Bloc Québécois is sensing an opportunity to increase its seat count in Quebec. But certainly, as has been pointed out already, the NDP financially, the Conservatives in the middle of a leadership race, Canadians in the middle of a pandemic, no one wants a federal election this year.
And what do you make of the other side of the opposition, the Conservatives? We've heard from, of course, Andrew Scheer saying the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister must step aside. Some have even said that it's time the Deputy Minister actually takes the position of the Prime Minister while this investigation and the Ethics Commission does its work. Do you see that happening?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Liberals respond. I mean, there's been calls for Trudeau to resign as Prime Minister, for Morneau to resign as Finance Minister, and certainly for Trudeau, this will be now the third time he's come up and run afoul of the Ethics Commissioner. So at a certain point, they're also probably doing a lot of polling. They got to start worrying about their backbench because those MPs want to be reelected. And so if Trudeau starts in the polling to be a liability rather than the asset he has generally been, it won't be long before the pressure will grow to give him the heave-ho. And certainly the pressure is also growing in terms of the We charity scandal. Companies that have been affiliated with it that are now pulling away. So this thing is continuing to have momentum.
Right. And Michael, we know that several ministers have now spoken out on this controversy, and there is no way at this given point of time the Liberals are breaking ranks. The Prime Minister has the support of his MPs, of his cabinet at this given point of time, and we do know that the Prime Minister and Chief of Staff have agreed to depose in front of this committee. What are you expecting to hear from them whenever that happens?
Well, I think what I'm expecting is for the Prime Minister to try and distance himself as much as possible from the decision-making and paint a picture where he wasn't that involved. The problem is that, as the Conservatives have brought up, the We charity was directly lobbying various members of the Trudeau cabinet. The speaking fees his mother and brother got. Morneau's daughter working for the charity. I mean, it's just entirely too cozy a relationship. And obviously, as we all know, I mean, it's something that should have gone to tender, and there should have been a lot more in the way of proper procedures followed. But that being the case, he's going to try the usual mea culpa apology, and it wasn't really me making the key decisions anyways, but I don't think it's going to wash this time.
All right, let's see how long will this scandal haunt the Liberals. We'll have to leave it at that for now. Political analyst Michael Geoghegan, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.